Hello, everybody. It's live. It's Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas to everybody, or about to be Merry Christmas. And since I have to do this today kind of anyway, I decided to look at building a grid. I don't see anybody in chat, so I'm just going to go ahead and build it. I'm going to go do the things I thought I should do. This is a rough draft of what I came up with last time. And except it's upside down. Sorry about that. But this is Alchemy. This was Passion. And this was Coherence. And I really wasn't happy, especially with Passion. It's the one I was most unhappy about, which is the one with the big red dot in the middle. I'm here. Yes, thank you, Julie M. For being here. So anyway, so this is the rough draft I left with. And so then, as I told you, what I do with rough drafts is I stick them all back in a jar and I look at them later. And so what I've come up with is I knew I had some better red stones for this in my drawers, and I just wasn't going to make you sit through... Those people sat through almost an hour of me messing with this stuff last Sunday. So we'll see how long we go. Hi, Dr. Gail. And we'll see how far we get with all this. But I'm going to show you my first choice, again, was I had bought the black frame. Those things are sitting on the base of the black fabric that I had in that frame. And what I've changed my mind about is I don't like the black frame. So I'm going to put you on the table so you can see. Okay. No. Okay. So I went to the craft store yesterday and I was thinking I wanted to put yellow as the background, but then I realized it's not really yellow. It's supposed to be sacral chakra. And so I found this orange sheet. So this is going to be the background. And I also bought a bigger frame. So we're going to have more real estate to play with. So this is how big the frame is going to be that the world grid's going to be framed in. And let's see, for those of you who missed it, this is where we were last Sunday when I finished. And I put all of those stones, gathered them all up, put them in a box. Put them, actually not a box so much as this thing. And this may not be the end, kids. I hate to tell you, but this is really, these things go through a lot of changes. So what I did is I gathered everything up and I put it all in this bowl. And what was most key for me was I was not at all happy with the red. No, the red. Got these backwards. The red I had around Passion. I just didn't feel like it was the right color. And I knew somewhere in my vast stores of stones, which I have behind me, there was a better red. So, and these are extra stones I picked up. My little bowl doesn't carry everything. So as y'all know, I sort of start with the center stone and work my way out, and I'm not doing any better today. Okay, what I found to go into the Passion chakra for these stones, and I'm much happier with these stones being in that grid. So those are, they're faceted cherry quartz. And the thing is, these have a kind of red I've never seen in carnelian. I've never seen it in any other thing. It's a reddish pink. And I got a bag of them. And I knew I made sure that when I used them, I kept them in. I try to keep my stones at 6s and 8s when I have leftover stones. So these are the stones I was looking for. I found them. They're going to be with Passion. But we're going to start from the beginning again for those of you who were not here Sunday. You're going to get to learn. What we did is Danny, Jeffrey, Sheila, Dr. Gail, and I sent them, I sent each of the readers that was going to be there, and I said, pick a number between 1 and 48. And they each picked a different number, and I have it actually written down. I'm sorry, Dr. Gail, I can't remember what number you picked, but Sheila picked the sacral chakra. So that set the background. So that one's done. That energy will be in every stone. And then we have coherence, alchemy, and passion. So what I'm going to do is I always start with the center stone. Now you say alchemy is 3 stones. Alchemy is going to be the center of these 3 cards. And I'm going to create a thing around alchemy that works. That's what I wasn't doing Sunday that was making me a little bit crazy. A lot of things were making me crazy on Sunday. I'd been reading cards before I did this. I've not read cards today. I find reading cards and building grids don't go together. So my reds are over here. Okay. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to get out the center stones I picked before. And I'm going to spill it. You find I do a lot of this. I do a lot of picking crystals up and putting them back in the little bags. And some of these crystals, you can see they're chips. They're virtually chips. And I can use those. And I may be using those in this grid. That's why this envelope, that's why this packet. And this is chrysocolla. It comes from Mexico. It looks a lot like very dull turquoise. It has a different energy, though. And when I get to the end, I lay out all the energy that I've pulled in. Chrysocolla has to do with consciousness and thinking. Okay, you guys are going to have to move the cards. Merry Christmas to you. I'm seeing a lot of Merry Christmases. Merry Christmas to everybody. Okay. This is the center stone I picked for passion. And this is bloodstone, and it's the one I picked for, and I'm not sure I picked it. Let me add it to the stage so I have a reference. Yeah, it was over there. I have 2 different bloodstones. I'm not sure which one I'm going to use yet, but we'll get there. So I have this one, and I also have, there's this one. Those 2 are possibles for there. And my center stone for the okay, the center stone for this one was that, and I had a stone in the middle of it. Is it this? May have been this. I'm not sure. Okay. So what you're going to find out is that there's a lot of putting it together and pulling it apart before you realize, oh, this is what I wanted in the center. Was that? There's a lot of pulling things apart and putting them back together. Now, we're going to look at one sort of layout at a time. We're going to look at passion, since I have the things I think I need for passion. Yes, I can find some of them. I found these blue, and these were chrysocolla. That's why this envelope is here. And for those of you who are sitting out there saying, surely there's a way she could be more organized. Trust me, when I'm working with the stones, I can't be. I have to be open to what they're telling me to do. I found it. Yay! Okay. There were 6 pieces of chrysocolla around the passion. And then the stones I found that went around that, that's what stopped me on Sunday and said, nope, I know I have better stones. And where did they go? Going to be 6 of them. Between these two. Oh, that's because there's a 7th stone there. I was going to say, wait a minute, that didn't work out. But now it does. And when I finally lay things out, I make sure they're much better balanced than right now. This is just to give me the visual content. So I'm much happier with that looking like that than with what I had before. What I had before were thank you, dear. Okay, thank you. I just got, yeah, here, just leave it here.
This is for Susan and you.
Yeah, Susan,
Yeah.
this for you and Kat.
Okay.
It's Christmas gifts.
Okay. Where is it?
Right here.
Okay, thank you.
We're getting Christmas gifts delivered. Merry Christmas, everybody. Ooh, look what I just got. I just got a gorgeous shawl. Isn't that pretty? It's from my oldest son and Diana, his girlfriend. Okay. So, okay, so I think that looks much closer to what I want it to look like. It'll look better when I get it all laid out. But that's what I wanted for the core of this. You can see this spreads out. Then I'm going to put some other warm reddish stones out there. But what we're going to go to next is the center of Alchemy. And here it is. And it looks like that. And what I get mostly from that is there's sort of a tannish color in the background, and then there's the bright yellow. And I'm working with the center of it right now. And what I was going to put around this one was, no, that's not it. I have a lot of beautiful rose quartz, but these crystals were too big with the frame I had before. The frame I had was a little bit narrower. So I'm going to see what I can do with the rose quartz I got. Guess what? This was the stone I had in the middle. It was yellow aventurine. I knew it went somewhere. Okay. Getting the big bags out again, guys. Because I do like fire quartz around the center of that. I just don't need as big a piece of fire quartz. One, maybe. Remember, I'm looking at this one. Oh, I do know what I'm going to put around it. When I was at the rock shop, I ran into this beautiful little bits of citrine that have been, I don't have the world's biggest desk, guys, so we're just going to put with a lot of stuff falling on us. I think I may use, this is a little bit of citrine that's been cut into very small beads, and they put them out this way, strung out this way. And I may just take that as a whole and wrap it around it. I think that does what I want it to do. Yep, that does what I want it to do. If you look at the center there, if I can get it to where you can see it, you see it's got the brownish the form, and then it's got a ring of gold kind of around it. What I'm going for is that little ring of gold right there. And then I'm going to find some small reddish rocks. So you're with this. I'm going to leave that there. I'm not going to take them apart now, because if I take this string of beads apart, these beads are going to be all over my floor and my cats are going to have a good time. And then the next ring out from there is some yellowish. And I've got this grid may end up having a lot more small stones. It's going to have these chips, and these are citrine chips. And that totally fits with the look. And then I have some other pieces of citrine. I'm going to use this as a model of it. Some other pieces of citrine. This is actually cracked quartz, not citrine. But I have some yellow citrine that I will build around it. And I think I can make that all fit. Now, the third part of this, and I am happy with the 8 by 12. This is 8 inches, 8 from here, and 12 inches. Oh, it's 12, yeah. It's 12 inches from edge to edge, and it's got a very solid black frame. And this coming, I have never built a grid this. I've built Alchemy before, and I managed to fit all 3 parts on it, but I did it with very small stones. But this is for the world. Let me look at some. I have to put this up on the stage because it's the only copy I have. Okay. So I do know what I'm going to put. I have gorgeous honey calcite. So beyond that little yellow rim, I have this beautiful honey calcite. And it looks like melted honey. It's what it really looks like. And I think I'm going to make it 5 stones. And no, I can make it 6. I have 6. But they're very disparately different sizes. If I make it 5 stones, the message from that is the number 5. 5 is for change. If I pull this one out, make this be 5 stones around the center here, then it means that out of the center stone in this, and for you, those who weren't here Sunday, the frequency of alchemy activates our magical abilities to remembrance of the magic that we all hold inside. Each one of us has a potential to access ancient knowledge that allowed for the true alchemist to perform and miracles for transmutation. So I think I am going to make this just 5 pieces of honey calcite. And I don't know whether I'm going to use the big piece and the small piece, probably. And I'll keep the small piece because I can use it as an accent piece somewhere else. So now I've got the center stone, the thing. I've got my little line of beads. It's going to be right around the edge. I'm going to have the honey calcite out there. Okay, now build the third pillar of this. And the third part of this is Coherence, which is a beautiful grid. And the frequency of coherence supports our ability to harmonize the frequency of the heart with the frequency of the mind for optimal ability to create reality that we desire. So These two stones, these both are bloodstones. And bloodstones, if you take them out in the sunlight, you can see red in them. That's why they were called bloodstones. They were worn by ancient warriors. And I quite honestly just don't have a really good green to put in there. But I'm thinking a way I can work a green in. You. My bag is centers. I have a whole bag full of carbochons that are made like centers. They're made like circles. Let's see if one of these. I'm going to move these over so I can pour them out and look at them. I have a lot of weird little shaped things. I get little moons every once in a while. I stick those on. As I moved, 22 of you don't have much to do on Christmas Eve, I can tell. That's okay. Maybe that is what I'll put on it, because it's another piece of bloodstone. See, seriously thinking about putting, there you go. What do you think of that? But it has the green blue in it, and it would sit, I would glue it together, or I could put it on this one. I kind of like it on the shinier one. Or this is the stuff I go through, guy, every time I build a grid. I just don't do it for 3 times each time. But that one. So I have that center stone set now. I don't need to go look for any other tiny bits. Really cool. These, I have a couple really cool tiger's eye as odd stones to put around on things. And you thought my readings were scattered. Into my 2 more stones hit the floor. The cats will find them. They pull them out where I can find them. Because they get under my desk and I can't find them. And then what's in this guy? And you remember, this is the one that I put the kyanite around to connect. I don't see anything that makes me. I might look at putting a tiger's eye on that, but I don't think so. I think I'm going to go with the moon. Okay. This is what happens when I get in my drawers. I get into shiny things. And speaking of shiny things, these are some of my favorite shiny things. And I use them as accents to bring out the color and stuff. Beautiful. Like I said, I dug through these drawers and I thought I pulled out everything I needed, and now I'm back in the drawers again. Okay. What we're going to pull. These are polished mother of pearl, and you're going to see where we're going to work those in later. And then these are faceted clear quartz. They're like little beads, and I'm going to intend to use them too. I don't know what I'm going to do with the moons, but they're out, so they're going to stay. And you are, I've got my adventuring there. So I'm going to think that that is going to be the new center for Coherence because we've got that lovely moon shape in the middle and it lightens it up. Then what I put around the Coherence was red jaspers. Yeah, because it says 6 points. And what's the other color I put around the red jaspers? Be over here. Ah, this is where I'm going to put the mother of pearls. These are yellow adventurine carved teardrops. And I got a giant bag of them. And I really do use them a lot. I mean, more than I thought I would have when I first got them. I want to be more over this way. Because they're just such a pretty shape and they help so much. I'm going to put the moon up here because he's just going to keep sliding off and it's going to make me crazy. You put into point, you put into there. Well, okay. There you go. So it'll be all squared up and look right and be balanced, but when I get to it. So then my next ring out on there is something purpley or blue. And those are the two hardest colors, unless you get to amethyst to find, and you have to find some true amethysts. But the other part it has is those spiky things on top. So what we're going to put out around it this time. It doesn't help when I destroy my own work. There are 6 points, and the numbers on here are important. 6 points, and 6 has to do with whole roundness, bringing things home, making things right. So over here. And I have this beautiful kyanite. And kyanite helps communicate. So for the tops and the bottoms, I'm going to put some nice long pieces of kyanite. I'm going to put a chunky piece between the center stone and the kyanite. They ought to be off of each of these is what they ought to be off of. And then this one could go here. And then this will be a short one. And this one's going to, it fell out of my hand. I don't know where it went. Ah. So, I'm going to do it out of the reds. Do it out of the reds. It works out better. If I do it out of the reds, the spacing works better. So that's going to be one there. That looks better. It looks more balanced. Okay. And I can put a bigger chunk here. And there. That's coherence. And trust me, the energy of kyanite and its ability to connect us to our knowledge makes a lot more sense when you're dealing with coherence. And then, okay. And then what I'll do, like I said, I'll put a mother of pearl in each one of these. You can't see them maybe, but there's a little, these were meant to be beaded. And so there's a little hole there, and I'll cover up that hole. And then if you saw the stone that's for today's, it's today, I think it's today's Advent stone. It's lepidolite. Which is purpley, sort of. It's lavenderish. And I have a whole bag of it in here somewhere because I had it out for my... You can see how I think as I go. I don't. This is... Oh, you're not going to open. This is next. A couple of ideas. I got lepidolite, which I can use. No, I found some amethyst I like to try. Different things. As you all are falling asleep, I'm sitting here with my back to you while I'm digging out. I really have that many crystals behind me, guys. I really do. I think we added it up about a year ago, and I have about $7,000 worth of crystals back here. Blue sunlight. Okay, but if we look in this, there's this dark blue that's in the background. That's the other stone I can play to, and it would work so well with this. I have beautiful pieces of lapis, which is the sign of universal wisdom. And it's a bag I haven't opened yet, so. Yes. See, you get one idea and it leads to another, and then you get to the right one. That's it. It was lapis that was missing. And then at the end of each of these kyanites, I'm going to put probably one of the faceted quartz. Okay, now we're going to try to figure out how the middle guy is going to fit in here. Trying to catch things before they collide into each other here. I know lapis. Lapis is such a true blue that it's hard to misplace. And so you've been voted off the farm, and that's basically what this will look like. It will have the extra little added gemstones, but now we're going to talk about the center stone which is the center part of the alchemy, and I wanted some bright, and I may just do this. I may just put these fire quartz there because they have the right colors and the right stones, and this is sort of filling in the other half of this one. And this one's filling. And so that's 5 pieces of honey calcite. Season's greetings. Bad hair day. I hope you're having a good hair day. We're all going to see improvements in 2026. We really are. I know some of you know I'm still doing my 12-month readings. If you want to run right over, you can get one. I got to figure out what I want to put about you. And I think I'm going to put some crackled quartz as the outer edge of the center. And if you've ever seen my grids, they all look so all together. They all start out looking like this. Really, honest to God, they do. Okay, so I'm doing my 2026 readings, and I'm not telling tales out of school because I've said this to everybody I'm doing them for, that everyone is going to be doing so well next year. And it's going to be just like, you're going to look back at 2025 and go, what? And I was doing 2025 readings a year ago, and it was just basically hold on, keep your head down, and learn about yourself. That was the most important messages of 2025, was for us to learn about ourselves, because we are what we are going to have in 2026. And don't let that scare you. We are enough. And that's what a lot of people have had to learn this year. So now we're to building the building blocks of this. And it was actually, I stopped on Sunday because I knew I had these faceted cherry quartz stones, but I couldn't find them. And it was frustrating the crap out of me. So now I've got to figure out what I'm going to build around it to emphasize it. And I have a bag of a yellow crackled quartz. I don't have it out, so you're just going to see it like this. It's going to be like that. Because now when I see these other colors with it, and I see it on this orange background, that's the other thing. I had to go to the craft store because I didn't like doing it on black. Sheila had pulled the sacral chakra, and I wanted it to fit with that color scheme, so that's where that came from. This is another piece of crackle quartz. It's not the right color though, but I have some more golden crackle quartz, and so there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those around there. And then I'm trying to think of what I've got. I have some other maybe put this. I have this amethyst, and I really like it. It doesn't fit with the color scheme, but it fits with the feeling. So I'm going to because it's very soothing. It's very, very soothing. That's why when I saw it, I'd never seen quartz in exactly this color before. It's between an amethyst and a quartz. Of course, amethyst is a quartz, so that shouldn't be amazing. But let's see if that helps. I kind of like that. It sort of sets off the other passion colors, that blue. And then this be one big grid, let me tell you, kids. And I'm going to put out here, I'm going to put out mother of pearl accents on the 6 points. It's really close to done. Really, really is close to done. There's supposed to be something else on you. I think I may put a tiger's eye on passion. You see how I'll orient it so you can see that there's a word for when your tiger's eye has an eye in it, and this tiger's eye has an eye in it. So that's kind of as far as my poor little brain can pull me at the moment, looking at what I've got to work with. Like you better. And then when I put them all, glue them all together, I will stick them down. And I'll see if I'm happy with that. I got a feeling I'm going to play a bit more with the center of this. I may put a couple of other little things on it. And these are. I may put a tiger. I have a tiger eye cabochon, which is this. I also have a tiger eye moon. And it may be, maybe we need to be more close to understanding how our life goes in cycles like the moon. I have a feeling the moon's going to, well, I know the eclipses are going to play a big deal in the coming year. Those dates are going to be real important, but let's see. I think this is the right thing to put on here. I think that's going to look, when you see it in real life, it looks really cool in the middle. That's carnelian, by the way. This stone is carnelian. That's petrified wood with yellow aventurine on top, and that's bloodstone with a bloodstone moon. I'm thinking, well, this is what we had before, and I like this one much better. I'm liking it. It looks more like what I think the cards are trying to tell me they want to look like. You know, one time I did a thing. I had spilled so many crystals on my floor, and they scutter under my bookcases and under parts of my desk, and I can't get to them. So when I finally swept my floor, there were enough crystals that I did it as a giveaway bag. And this lady, she sent me a picture. She built a beautiful crystal out of what was on my floor. Well, kids, I hope y'all are having a very Merry Christmas, and I know we're going to have a Happy New Year. the next time you see this, it should be together. And we will be having a thing where Dr. Gail Jeffrey, Danny Shea, Sheila from Celtic Tarot, and I will be on together if we can ever figure our schedules out. And we will all be looking at this and deciding, and setting it up and getting it ready. And remember, the three shapes are, this is alchemy. And then to this side is coherence. And to this side is passion. And that's what I think. And the message on passion is the frequency of passion reminds us that beneath every intense emotion has a hidden gem of thought, insight, balance, and calm. It assists us in finding the balance within our own intensity, moving it from chaos to calm, which is what we want at our very core. In other words, this is chaos, and we're moving into calm. So, and helping us have long-lasting wisdom. And the message of this section is alchemy. And the frequency of alchemy activates our magical ability and remembrance of the magic that we hold inside of each of us. Each one of us has a potential to access ancient knowledge, and it should be allowed to become our own true alchemist to perform the miracles of transmutation. And coherence is the third part of the grid, and it's the frequency of coherence supports our ability to harmonize the frequency of the heart with the frequency of the mind for optimal ability to create. So all of these are bringing the heart and the mind together, and I think that's really important. And that's going to be, I think, the big message in 2026, bringing those areas together. And however I zhuzh it out, as I move it out, you'll see it. And I will send out a notice that we're having a party to look at it. And I hope this hasn't bored you together totally too much. Let me go back to me on the camera. And I'm going to pull a Christmas oracle card for us. And I got to... Ooh, it's gorgeous. Beautiful colors for me. That's my shawl, so I'm going to put it on. Not that I need it today. It's going to get to 80 here today. Texas weather is ridiculous. And I'm going to pull from the Sacred Forest Oracle with this Denise Lynn's deck, if you've never seen it. And I think it's just a beautiful deck. It's got nothing to do with Christmas. I realized I didn't have a Christmas deck. So this year I ordered one, and then they ended up being back ordered. So I won't get it till sometime in February. So we're going to read Christmas in February. See how close we are. Okay. Well, the fairy that came out on the bottom of the deck is the Wild Rose Fairy. She's the fairy of love. And I'll read you the message for her. And this is kind of our Merry Christmas message. The spirit of the Wild Rose Fairy says you are more cherished than you could possibly know. And open your heart to receive. Love is on the way. You are the eternal vessel for love, and may it always flow through you. You are enough just as you are. And I said that a couple times in the reading. We are enough just as we are. And we just need to let love flow through us. Love is all around us. Open your heart to receive. All of life's experiences are a splendid part of our spiritual evolution towards the realization that we are all love. In the matter of romance, there may need to be a healing right now. There also may need to be an understanding of what's the difference between the one and making ourselves the one and making ourselves lovable. But I hope you have whatever you choose to eat for whatever your family food is for Christmas. My families used to go to big Christmas parties on Christmas Eve, and I actually enjoyed Christmas Eve more than Christmas Day, which meant being locked up with my 4 siblings in the house and listening to one brother who never got enough gifts. And he's still like that. He's a Trumper. But we're not going to talk about bad things today. We're going to talk about good things. And this is what your energy helped me create today. And y'all can come back and see how different it's changed from last week. But I'm much happier with this one. It's much brighter. It's much more the color. And I hope. Hi, Nancy Cast. It should be activated on the first new moon, new beginnings. Well, I'll talk to Dr. Gail and her and Jeffrey and Danny and see. I mean, maybe we can't get together till then. Who knows? And I'm just going to go through the chat a little bit. And I'm happy to see you all wishing each other Happy New Year's. Lovely Christmases. Oh, Julie, this is a good statement. I can't imagine the time when the ancient workers had accumulating their crystals and stones before modern mining and transportation. Well, first of all, you don't have to have these exclusive rocks, but I'm going to tell you the other thing. I was watching a show about how they began to realize how much broader the transportation routes were in what we call the Dark Ages after the Romans. But even before the Romans, you go back, the Neolithic people, they find some of them have obsidian from a continent away. How the hell did it get there? Somebody brought it to them. Crystals, when you start being around them a lot, are just all kinds of fun. And they exhaust me, though. So I'm going to quit being exhausted. I'm going to leave this as it is. I think it's pretty. If you have suggestions, you can send it to me at crystaldirections.nancyjean@gmail.com. I do take suggestions. I saw the person that liked the bloodstone in the center of that. And I want everybody to have a wonderful December 24th, December 25th, and on into a brave new year. And take care. And I just remember, nobody else is going to cut this off. I have to. So bye.